Patrick McCarty first asked me to run the service and to give the message today, he suggested my message reflect a theme around this past week, Independence Day, July 4th holiday, celebration of America. So I have come up with a theme around the land of the free and the home of the brave. You've come a long way, baby. No, I'm not talking to the women of America who once heard or read those words as part of an advertising campaign to get them to buy cigarettes. You remember Virginia Slim? Oh boy. I'm not talking to the women of America about that. I'm talking to and about America, this country of ours that we consider to be the land of the free and the home of the brave. We even sing about that regularly. The phrase comes from the Star Spangled Banner, which was first performed in a sporting event in 1918 at a World Series. The owner of one of the clubs decided it might be kind of fun to do that. So it did not become our national anthem until 1931, and eventually began to be played at most all sporting events in the US of A during World War II, when we were at our most popular patriotic season. Originally, I had intended to start this talk by asking you if you all had enjoyed your July 2nd holiday, a celebration of the birth of our country. July 2nd. Oh, no, I meant July 2nd. That's right. Not the 4th, because the actual declaration was approved on July 2nd. But there were a couple of phrases in there that had to be reworked or eliminated because they couldn't get everyone quite to agree if those stayed in. What were those phrases? One was about how nasty the British were to the poor colonists over the years. But the other was how to count slaves as 2/3 of a person for taxation and representation purposes. That final provision actually made it into our Constitution. So even at our beginning, we had yin and yang, good and bad, very high ideals and very low practicalities. July 4th didn't become the national holiday until 1870, which was 94 years after the Declaration, and 5 years after slavery was finally abolished by the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. Well, here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to remove this and show you. I have here a number of pages, two of which I put in bold type because they're the main parts of the Declaration of Independence. And the 3 pages in between are smaller type, but they go on and on. The vast majority of our Declaration of Independence is a complaint, is whining. Is whining about how poorly the British Crown treated us poor colonists. So well over 3/5 of our Declaration of Independence is basically that. It's a litany of sins committed against us. The irony is that many other countries and many other causes have basically copied our Declaration of Independence language for their own purposes, including Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, including the Black Panthers in America. So there's something for everybody in our Declaration of Independence. America was founded on the principle that all men are created equal. And yet in the beginning that equality was not granted to Native Americans, slaves, and women, whether they smoked or not. We've definitely come a long way from that humble beginning. Slaves were emancipated. Women fought for and earned the right to vote. And the Indians, American Indians, well, they now own lots of casinos and are certainly better off. Though they would probably have arrived at that destination a lot sooner if they had come up with the idea of establishing a Bureau of White Man Affairs and created reservations for us to live on. There's room for all of us here. American democracy has been called both a grand experiment and the worst form of government. The grand experiment idea comes from the spiritual principles that are included in these founding documents of our Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, and in the idealism inherent in a system that ultimate power resides not with those who govern us, but those who are governed. The power lies in the people, according to our Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Winston Churchill is the man who is quoted with stating that democracy is the worst form of government, except for all the others.
Oh.
Ours is the worst form of government, except for all the others. Think about that. And when you start to criticize America, and there's plenty we can criticize, remember, all we're doing is helping to elevate its consciousness to something better aligned with its founding principles. All other forms of government have proven themselves to be far more wanting than American democracy. So what makes our democracy work to its very best ability? In my opinion, it's the people. The heroes and heroines who throughout the decades have identified societal problems and grabbed some of them around the neck and throttled them until they were at least diminished, if not resolved. They demonstrated their freedom to act and their bravery, sometimes in the face of severe acrimony and danger in various ways. Consider the following people that we all know about who've made such a difference. We start with George Washington. The man was our first president, and he was a wise man, a former warrior. But at the end of his first term, he said, "I will not accept a nomination for a second term. Nobody ought to serve more than twice, more than once, actually." That didn't stick around until after FDR was elected the third time. And finally, everyone said, maybe we ought not to have a king or someone who's always there. Someone who wants to be our president for decades. Can't imagine who that would be. But George Washington, in his farewell address, he gave the very first farewell address of American presidents. He wanted to give us a very clear warning, and he did, about the dangers of hyperpartisanship, excessive debt, foreign wars, and foreign influence in domestic politics. Any of that sound familiar? George Washington warned against that. We still need to be warned against that. Isn't that amazing? Another hero, Abraham Lincoln, of course, we all know. He emancipated the slaves and saved the entire Union and gave us one of the most revered speeches of all time about Gettysburg. A little aside for those of us white folks who rail against the slogan, Black Lives Matter, and so on, all lives matter. Well, they do, but the slogan is really apt nowadays. Black Lives Matter. We, white people, did not have to be emancipated. Our forebears were always free. And they could be as brave as they wanted to be. They didn't have to kowtow to anyone. So, do Black Lives Matter? You bet. And the other thing is that unarmed blacks in America are 3.5 times more likely to be shot by police than unarmed whites. So it's not that we're going out there trying to kill young blacks, but the truth of the matter is we're doing it more often than we should. So then we go on to another hero, Dwight Eisenhower, who led us through World War II and brought victory to the Allies. At the end of his term, he gave us another couple of warnings, and here they are. I'll quote. Guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will prevail. We must No. Exists and will persist, not prevail. We won't let them prevail. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted. Only an alert and knowledgeable citizenry can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense with our peaceful methods and goals so that security and liberty may prosper together. End of quote. We can still have some work to do in that arena. And then there, of course, was Martin Luther King Jr. While many of his detractors tried to diminish his value because of his personal life, he was nevertheless a leader of immense wisdom and influence and the conscience of us all. And while most of us will not long remember other speeches given on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, King's "I Have a Dream" speech will resonate in our history from those steps forever. Well, most of our history books outline the exploits of all these wonderful men. Too few of them provide us any information about the women who helped shape this amazing country of ours. Rather than extolling all of those ladies who helped shape our country in the past, I want to choose in this talk to mention some of our current heroines who are leading us into the future. Specifically, about an hour ago, Megan Rapinoe, Alex Morgan, Christian Press, Tobin Heath, Carly Lloyd, Julie Ertz, Rose Lavelle, Ali Krieger, Mallory Pugh, goalkeeper Elisa Nair, Crystal Dunn, Abby Dahlkemper, Kelly O'Hara, Becky Sauerbrunn, Sam Muse, USA ladies won the World Cup. Yeah, and it probably will happen. They're going to double it so that it's only about 1/5 as low as the men, instead of where it is, 1/10. So the current ladies of the USA soccer team have been magnificent. We watched it while we were in Las Vegas. We were enthralled, and we watched it. And I said, I may be late for church this morning, but I got to watch the end of it. And we saw the end of it. It was wonderful. They gave it their all. They're not only magnificent athletes, but they all have their own personal opinions, some of which we might not agree with, but they stand up for what they believe in, and they let it be known, this is me. And I say, hooray. They were wonderful. But we don't have to travel far back in history or far across vast distances to find heroes and heroines. I don't see Heather or Sierra. Hello, Heather and Sierra. Yeah. Did any of you happen to see the Community Voice this week? When I finish this talk, I'm going to deliver about, 15 or 20 of them to the back. And if you don't have your own copy, you might want to get one. So we don't have to travel far and wide to find heroes or heroines. We can look right here. We got the crisis wranglers. We got all of you who volunteer and do so well in keeping this place going. And we have our own Sierra Lavoie, who at age 6, for her birthday, instead of receiving presents, decided to prompt us all to donate supplies and or money to the living room for at-risk women and their children in Sonoma County. So this is their July 4th issue of the Community Voice. This is truly an all-American story about an all-American girl on an all-American day. Sierra, you've come a long way, young lady, in a very short period of time. Congratulations. We love you. In spite of all the problems our country faced in the past and continues to face now and will in the future, Sierra's example of selfless concern for others gives me high hopes for the future of this land of the free and home of the brave. Let's all stand and sing about our high hopes.